What's up guys, it's me Chris and I got another great video for you. Today we're going to be looking at this guy, the Astro C40 TR headset, and I've been anxiously waiting to pull this guy out of packaging, but I wanted to do it with you so we could do it together. I know there are a lot of people who've already put their unboxings out, but you haven't seen the best until you saw mine. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So right up front guys, you see you have PlayStation, and this is a officially licensed product from PlayStation, which is really awesome. And if you know anything about me and about my channel, I've done a ton of PlayStation mods, controller mods, so this is a realm that I'm very familiar with. Now this particular controller will run you anywhere from $198 all the way up to around the $200-ish mark, so it is not cheap by any stretch. And there are a few other controllers that are within this range. And when I first started modding controllers, I did so because I wanted to give you a cheaper alternative than what you would have to pay for Scuff or some of those other brands that were doing modded controllers at the time with rapid fire and with the back paddle buttons, which were around $100 to $150. This goes well beyond that at the $200 range. If you put that into perspective, that is half the price of a PS4 Pro. So this is a very expensive controller, but I bought it because I do love the Astro products. I believe in what they have going on, and I think this is going to be a winner. Up front again, you have the officially licensed by PlayStation. You got Astro. You've got the controller here. You see there's a touchpad with a light there. This is the TR, Tournament Ready, I believe is what that stands for, C40, and this is for the PS4 and the PC. Now people have been talking online about whether or not this would be a waste because PS5 is on the horizon, especially at this price point. And my guess is no, it's not going to be a waste, because I'm betting that Astro is going to release some sort of firmware to make this compatible with the PS5 whenever it does drop. And you also will always have PC to fall back on as well. So you can definitely utilize this controller for years to come, in my opinion. On the side of the box, you get C40 there, which is awesome. Compatible hardware, PlayStation 4. On the back, it shows you all the goodness. So you can see all of those buttons, and that can be switched. So you can rock this thing in a lot of different modes. Right here on the side, you have C40 TR configuration software, which is something that I will be utilizing in a later video. You have integrated remapping rear button, which is awesome. You can do this without plugging up to the software. You have trigger stops, which I love. You have wireless audio, which is, it's okay. I use Astro A50s personally. 12 hours of battery life, which is amazing if you are going to go wireless. And it has an included travel case, which is pretty sick. You have the parallel mode, which is the standard kind of PlayStation controller mode, which I'm okay with, but I really have grown to not like as much as the Xbox mode personally. So I like the offset, and that's how I'm going to run this controller. You know, comment and let me know what you think, but I do like to run the offset. I think it's more comfortable personally, and I think it's better for FPS games. And then it just shows an image of the rear buttons. On the bottom there's some information with my serial number, which you don't need to see, and we're going to just cut through that. We're going to cut through this other side, and let's go ahead and pull it out. And let me back up because I've gotten way too tight. All right. So right when you open it, you're greeted with this, and this is very familiar if you know anything about the Astros. The A40s, the A50s, they all come in packaging very similar to this, which is freaking amazing. But you got the controller up front, you got the Astro A, and then it just travels all the way around the back seamlessly. You've got the PlayStation logo there, and it's super awesome. Pro gaming equipment, super sick. Astro on the side. Up top, you got Astro TR, and let me, I guess, show you that way. And then on the bottom, you've got all the other goodies about this controller. So I think I've got one more piece of tape I need to cut. They are taped up. All right, here we go, guys. I'm excited. We're gonna take this thing out. We've got some paperwork in here. We can file this box to the side because y'all don't need to know anything else about that. But we've got stop. And here in English, stop, do not return this gear to your store. If you have an issue, they want you to send it to Astro, which is fine. And then you've got just some other paperwork that I don't care anything about. And then you've got this map. Anybody remember those old maps they used to sell in gas stations? That's what this looks like. But this is a quick setup guide that you definitely need to read. And this thing is huge. Look at this. So, and on the back, you've got this. So this is really cool. and it's got, I don't know how well you can see with my lights, but it's got a diagram of the controller itself. So this is really awesome. I will take advantage of this because at $200 I want to make sure I'm doing everything the right way. So we've got that. Let's get into what we really care about, which is the actual controller itself. So you got a nice embossed A there with the little star, which is freaking sick. And then on the back, nothing. And it's a nice kind of medium case. It's not hard, but it's not soft. So I guess you would consider this a hard case, but just barely, because you can press it. Once we actually open it up, I'm expecting the little Astro dude to jump out and be like, hey, Chris, congratulations. All right. Opens a little janky. But once we open it up, there it is, folks. Sick. It's like a sick selfie. All right, so it feels amazing in the hand, and I think it's big the way it needs to be, and that's what she said. Let me explain. The way the traditional PlayStation controller fits sometimes can be a little wonky, so it's just one of those things that you just got to deal with, and over time it can cause some sensitivity in your hands and give you a little bit of cramping or a little bit of discomfort. And one of the things that I like about the Xbox controller, or I personally liked, was that I didn't get that, and I like the feel of this. I like the soft materials. It's got some really soft touch materials, and it's got like some writing going on there, C40 tournament ready. This thing is nice, you guys. On the back, you can see where you have your trigger stops, and then you have your built-in paddle areas, and they sound very tactile and clicky. So this is really nice. Let's check out these shoulder buttons. Very nice. And then you've got your options and your start. Then you have that touchpad, which nobody does anything with. Analogs feel okay. Face buttons are really good too. So, I mean, they're tactile, so I'm fine with that. D-pad is nice, I guess. I don't use it as much, but I think it's fine. So overall, it feels really good. Let's see what else we get in this package. So right up top here, you go ahead and get the actual plug, and let's see what it is. It is micro USB to full-size USB-A, so that's what you got there. And then you've got on the inside under this little foam some other parts and pieces. So you get the dongle if you want to go wireless. You get a little tool to take the faceplate off, which I'm about to utilize right now. And you get some different buttons. Now you have convex and concave. I like concave buttons, and that's really cool. I like this particular analog to be a little longer, and I think they've given us that here. Maybe, I don't know. I guess you just pop it off like that, and it just snaps in. Make sure if I break it, it's all in the name of science. My wife would kill me. Yeah. So these are offset. I don't know how well you can see that now. So that looks really good. A friend of mine asked me, shout out Sion, he asked me, he said, hey, do you still need to use the control freaks if you have these offsets? I don't know, because these feel really good, and the whole point of me using control freaks was to get the offset, but now that I can get it with a controller, I don't know that I would necessarily need to utilize those. So just my opinion. You do get these just flatter faced, convex, domed, if you will, buttons, which are nice. And I guess they're going to give you some more accessories that you can purchase in the future, because there's an open slot there that looks like it's for a D-pad. So that's really cool. That, or a disc that we don't have right now, so I guess that is coming. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into its slot. I'm gonna run it just like it is right now. Let's pull this dongle out and at least take a look at it. That's what she said, I know. You got the dongles really small. Stop, that's what she said. My wife keeps rolling her eyes. But it's a really small dongle that you can use, and I guess they want it to be low profile. I'm not planning to use this thing wireless, so it doesn't matter. Up top here, there is a wireless. There's a wireless or a wired connection button there. So just something you kind of need to be aware of, that you can switch the modes. And I don't know what this other thing is here yet. I got this other button. I need to do a little bit of research. Let's go ahead and take this faceplate off, and there looks to be four. Let's move this out. There looks to be 4 buttons to, or 4 screws to do that. They do give you a tool, and they give you a holder for it, which is nice. That is super awesome, because you don't want to lose this tool. Looks like some sort of Allen wrench, but you know, I don't want to lose it, because I don't want to have to try to match it up and risk stripping any of these screws out. All right, once you remove that, it comes off just like that. I'm gonna try to keep everything in frame, and all you do to move a module is move the module. And I guess it lines up some sort of way, like so, and like so. I hope that's right. Let's see, that feels right. Make sure it's not twisting around in there. We're gonna put everything back together. We're gonna screw it back down, and we're gonna call that good, unless I broke something, in which case I'll find out when I do game testing. So yeah, I was not gonna do any game testing tonight, but man, how can you not do game testing when you got this sick son of a gun? You don't want to over tighten this. I suspect it might break, so I'm going to tighten it, then back off and just hand tight, and I'll see if it works itself loose over long gaming sessions. This is also really cool because you can take this apart and clean it, blow air into it so that you can make everything work. But oh yeah, I really like this. The only thing I wish is that they had an extended trigger so I could sit my trigger fingers out just a little bit. But yeah, overall, this is a really good controller. I really like it. Again, from a form factor, I think this is almost perfect. It feels really good. I was going to at one point get the Scuff Vantage, and my wife was like, what she always says when I say I'm gonna get something, she gives me that kind of dry look. She's like, get it. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I waited for this because I think this is a superior product. Now, I want to go ahead and pull up some of the competition. So here's my tried and true Hori pad, and let me widen out a bit so you can get a better view at some of this stuff, move some of the other stuff out of the screen. Let's unwind the Hori pad. It's been on the shelf for a while because I pretty much worn this controller out. I played with it for a year straight almost. I love this thing, and it still works, but it does have some input fade in a few spots just because I've beaten it to death. But this controller and this controller do favor each other. Would you say they're cousins? Yeah. This controller is just a little bigger than this controller, and I thought this was a little bigger, the Hori pad, but I do think the Astro is a little bit heavier. And you know, I don't know yet. The jury's out as to which one I would like better for what, but I really like this controller a lot. Now, I did add the Control Freak grips to it. This comes with its own kind of soft material, so it's just kind of, you know, up to you what you might or might not think about when using it, and how it might feel. But I got this guy feeling really good. It still feels really good, but I do really like this. It's a little bit thinner right here in the sides, and that might be something that you might be interested in. So yeah, just want to kind of let you know that. Let's bring in another controller for snicks and giggles. We're gonna bring in my Black Ops 3 controller, and this one is rocking the Control Freaks offset. As you can see on the back here, you do have my mod for the Scuff mod, the Scuff Jump, and the Scuff, what is it, Scuff Knife and Jump. I do run Tactical Flip. I also have my custom version of my trigger stops in there, so really short triggers. And I've got just some kind of funky face buttons that I bought just to make this unique. I play with this controller a lot. I really like it, and it's a really cool controller. So yeah, I do like this a lot. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see my entire controller collection. It's massive. Now, here's another controller that I made that is one of my favorites, the piano. And I stole these out of an old, I forget what company it was, made a Pro controller from PS3, but I took the buttons from it and modded them and made this. That's why these buttons stick up and they kind of cave in a little bit, which is nice because I can keep my finger in the middle and slide onto one, and I can really easily feel them. This controller is freaking amazing. I took the rumbles out. Again, it's got custom stops, and it's got my clicky Scuff mod. Love this controller too, super awesome. I do play with it, but it's one of my older controllers, so I don't play with it as much. Last controller, this one has the strike pack on it. This is one of the newer PlayStation controllers, and everything about this controller is stock except this pack that you add to the back, which is strike pack. And these are magnetized, which is freaking awesome. Stick it back in there. There it goes. And again, you still get the Scuff, clicky. No trigger stops, no custom trigger stops here. This is a stock controller just in case. I always need to have at least one. but it feels really good. And I like playing with the strike pack because you can go in and do a few things with it just by powering it up. And then you have different buttons here that do different mods that you can go in and download from the app. So my buddy Cian plays with this a lot. We both bought it. This is a great way to mod your controller if you don't have a lot of experience and you just want to do something a little different, mix it up. You can cheat with this though. I only use it for the scuff jump and the knifing ability, but I do know some people do definitely put rapid fire and all kind of things on shotguns and stuff and spam it, and I hate it. So just something to think about. So what we want to find out at the end of the day, and let's make us a circle here. Make it, there we go. Is can this controller rule them all? So can this controller make all of these obsolete? I don't know. We're gonna find out, you guys, and that's what this is all about. So stay tuned. The next video I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about gameplay, and I'm gonna go over the app and do some screen recordings and kind of let you know how this actually works in reality from a fit and finish and execution standpoint. Is there any input lag? Are there any drop-offs anywhere? I'll find out. I am gonna test it wireless just because why not? So I'll test it wireless and wired. My preferred method is definitely going to be wired though. So I'll talk you through it, let you know what I think, and we'll go from there. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Again, this is my unboxing of the Astro C40 TR controller. I'm excited to get playing, so let's get to it.